What we are there and here on earth shall be is imaged in a contact and a call.
Yeah, but I would say that is image. The word
Image.
image is very important here because it means it's sort of imagined or it's reflected or mirrored in a contact and a call. And that's so important to all of us because when we come down to earth, we may not hear that call, and most do not hear that call. We may not feel that contact. It can be a contact that initiates us into beauty or into love or into the higher reaches of the mind. So, what we are there, but what we're going to be here on earth is mirrored in these two things, one, a contact and a call. Very, very important. And Sri Aurobindo says to us, and I'd just like to read a little bit of this from the synthesis, that all yoga is in its nature a new birth. It is a birth out of the ordinary, the mentalized material life of man into a higher spiritual consciousness and a greater and diviner being. No yoga can be successfully undertaken and followed unless there is a strong awakening to the necessity of that larger spiritual existence. The soul that is called to this deep and vast inward change may arrive in different ways through the initial departure. It may come to it by its own natural development, which has been leading it unconsciously towards the awakening. It may reach it through the influence of a religion or the attraction of a philosophy. It may approach it by a slow illumination or leap to it by a sudden touch or shock. It may be pushed or led to it by the pressure of outward circumstances or by an inward necessity. And here's a key, a very important key, by a single word that breaks the seals of the mind, or by long reflection, by the distant example of one who has trod the path, or by contact and daily influence. According to the nature and the circumstances, the call will come. So positive. Wow. The call will come.
Mhm.
Okay, carry on.
As yet, Earth's imperfection is our sphere. Our nature's glass shows not our real self. That greatness still abides held back within.
That greatness still abides, held back within. That
Mm.
there has to be a little bit of silence between those words. And because that greatness still abides held back within doesn't tell us anything.
Mhm.
But it's that greatness that has not left us. It's remained with us, but it's held back within, within ourselves, within our hearts, within our souls. So what we are there and here on earth shall be is imaged in a contact and a call. And then we have those lines. As yet, earth's imperfection is our sphere. And this is why I'd like you to read a little bit slower, because those lines are so important. Our nature's glass. Glass is often used as a mirror.
Mhm.
Our nature's mirror doesn't show our real self.
Mhm.
And this is something that my beloved Ranganathan, who has finally had to quit completely his talks because he has such pain in his body and
Oh,
terrible itching that he can't control. And I have itching too, but I can control it.
mm,
So he tells us always that you see that we can look in a mirror, but that mirror is not our real self. It's an image.
mm,
It, and even our looking at it is something that's meaningless
mhm.
because we don't see our real self in the mirror. We see an image of ourself in the mirror. So, as yet, Earth's imperfection is our sphere. It's our sphere of existence
Mhm.
because our nature's glass shows not our real self. The greatness still abides. It still abides. It doesn't leave us, but
Mhm.
it's held back within. Can I have those lines again?
Yes. As yet, Earth's imperfection is our sphere. Our nature's glass shows not our real self. That greatness still abides, held back within.
See the difference?
Yes.
Now it makes a lot of sense to you also.
Yes.
Okay, but now there's more. You see, there's always this back, and what I don't want to say back. There's always this uh, this brilliance of Sri Aurobindo, able to tell us what we are and what we shall become, and we see it through Savitri constantly. So it's not negative, but it seems to be negative at times. Okay, so Earth's doubting future.
Earth's doubting future hides our heritage. The light now, the light now distant shall grow native here.
Almost, but it's the light now distant.
The
It's
light
the light
now distant.
that is now distant shall
Mm,
eventually grow native here.
mm.
Okay.
The light now distant shall grow native here. The strength that visits us, our comrade power.
No, it's comrade,
Comrade.
and
Okay.
and I will check it up to see for sure as we go along. But for me, I'm quite sure it's comrade.
Okay, must be.
Okay, carry on.
Yeah. The ineffable shall find a secret voice, the imperishable burn through matter's screen, making this mortal body Godhead's robe.
So the strength that visits us is our comrade power.
Mhm.
So that's a very, very interesting statement because, first of all, he begins with the doubting future of Earth
Mhm.
because everything here is doubtful.
Mhm.
We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow to ourselves or to the world or to the universe.
Mhm.
So Earth's doubting future, and Earth is doubting that also. Earth doesn't know that also. Especially now we see that this Hamas thing has grown very, very big.
Yeah.
They don't even talk about Russia anymore.
Mhm.
They just talk about Israel and the Middle East.
Yeah.
So Earth's doubting future hides our heritage. What is our heritage? Well, it's something that we have since before birth and
Mhm.
as we entered birth. We have a heritage because we have many, many lives that we've lived already. And those previous lives are our heritage. It's true that they are also our fate, but Sri Aurobindo tells us that not only can we change our fate, but as we are working on the fate of our past, we're also working on the fate of our future.
Mm.
Interesting. So the light, capital L, light, now distant, it seems to be distant anyway, shall grow native here. So that light is going to grow native. It's going to be all over. And Mother says the whole world will be able to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Spiritual light. The strength, capital S, that visits us, our comrade power, and carry on.
The ineffable shall find a secret voice, the imperishable burn through matter's screen, making this mortal body Godhead's robe.
Yes, the imperishable, the ineffable. The
Mm-hmm.
ineffable is, of course, the absolute.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the ineffable shall find a secret voice. A secret voice. It's not the voice that we have today. It's
Mm.
not the voice that we understand. It may be a voice that's even silent. And the imperishable, of course, is the divine. The divine is going to burn through this screen of matter. And he only calls it a screen. And Mother tells us that the subtle physical is so close to the physical. She
Mm.
just needs a little turn and we're there.
Yeah.
And she's in the subtle physical now, along with Sri Aurobindo,
Mm.
preparing the supermental body. So it's very close to us, but the Upanishad says it is far from us and it is very close.
Mm-hmm.
How beautiful.
Yeah.
Making this mortal body the robe of the Godhead. Wow.
Mhm.
Okay, let's
The,
carry on.
the Spirit's greatness is our timeless source, and it shall be our crown in endless time.
Yeah, but you didn't do that quite well enough because you said source, but source is very important. The Spirit's greatness is our timeless source.
Mm.
Yeah, we go up a little bit, in fact,
Okay.
in intonation, that the Spirit's greatness is our timeless source. Not only is it our timeless source, but it shall be our crown in
In
end time. See how those two lines are so important
yeah.
that they're almost, we have to say them almost in one breath.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the Spirit's greatness.
The Spirit's greatness is our timeless source, and it shall be our crown in endless time.
Yeah, but a little bit too fast, no? And it shall be our crown in endless time. We don't want to go too slow ever because
Mm.
that will put us to sleep, but we can't be too fast.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right, carry on.
A vast unknown is round us and within. All things are wrapped in the dynamic one. A subtle link of union joins all life.
I think it's dynamic, not
Dy-
dynamic.
dynamic,
Dynamic. Dynamic. Second syllable. Dynamic.
dynamic.
Yes. So he capitalizes the word unknown
Mm-hmm.
because the unknown is just not unknowable
Mm-hmm.
because it can be known. It's possible for us. And that's why he capitalizes it. So a vast unknown is round us and within us. And therefore all things are wrapped in the dynamic one, capital O, the
Mm.
divine, the
Yeah.
divine. A subtle link of union joins all life. And this for me is such an important line because Mother speaks of that golden tie that she has with all creation, with the beings of all creation. And that tie will never be snapped or broken. When especially those she's met or those who have come to love her and believe in her, that tie is impenetrable. Nothing can get into it, nothing can sever it. You know that Mother had her tie almost broken.
Yeah, when she went out of body.
Yes. And Theon,
Mm.
Mother said, I have the word. I have the power of the word. And
Mm.
he wanted it. And I think he almost broke it off.
Oh.
Mother had to put it together again.
Mm.
So for us, a subtle link of union joins all life. And for me, this is so important, Sneha, because that life means the animals, it means the plants, it means everything. It means the earth itself.
Mm.
It's a subtle link of union. That union joins everything. Now, he's going to emphasize even more on that link of union.
Thus, all creation is a single chain. We are not left alone in a closed scheme between a driving of inconscient force and an incommunicable absolute.
Such assurance, huh? First of all, reinforcing that all creation is a single chain. You know, a chain is very difficult to break,
Mhm.
and this is a subtle chain of creation. Therefore, we are not left alone in some kind of closed scheme. Okay, so you're here now, you're gone tomorrow. What does it matter whether you die or live another 10 days? We're not left alone in a closed scheme. What closed scheme? Well, it's between a driving of inconscient force. In other words, we're moved by forces that we don't understand, but we follow them. Or an incommunicable absolute, an absolute which we cannot communicate with. Very, very interesting. So, a little more.
Our life is a spur in a sublime soul range. Our being looks beyond its walls of mind and it communicates with greater worlds. There are brighter earths and wider heavens than ours.
Wow. This is something so, so important. So, let's look at it again. Um, let me go.
Yeah.
It communicates with greater worlds. Our being communicates with greater worlds. We're not always aware of it, but I think this is one of the reasons that Shraddhalu is so attracted to Mark,
Mhm.
because Mark has gone to all of these worlds.
Mm.
The problem is he never had a connection, and Sri Aurobindo has given him that connection with
Mm.
Mother Sri Aurobindo. So they both have made growth together. So we see that we communicate with greater worlds. Then he has a semicolon in which he says to us, there are brighter earths. We didn't know there was more than one earth,
Mm.
and wider heavens than ours. So we could understand that there could be wider heavens than we can perceive of heaven, but brighter earths. tells me that there are other Earths in these constellations that are even brighter than ours, but they're not chosen by the divine. And Mother chose this Earth for the conquest of love, of death by love, and the establishment of the life divine on this Earth. So we'll do just a little more, and then you can read all of it.
There are realms where being broods in its own depths. It feels in its immense dynamic core, its nameless, unformed, unborn potencies cry for expression in the unshaped vast. Ineffable beyond ignorance and death, the images of its everlasting truth look out from a chamber of self-wrapped soul, as if to its own inner witness gaze, the spirit holds up its mirrored self and works the power and passion of its timeless heart, the figures of its formless ecstasy, the grandeurs of its multitudinous might.
Okay, so this is a very long sentence, but it's very clear, isn't it? There are these realms where and being is capitalized. And Sri Aurobindo tells us in The Life Divine that pure being is the affirmation by the unknowable of itself as the free base of all cosmic existence. So it's being capitalized, divine personality. It feels in its immense dynamic core. What does it feel? It feels it's nameless, it's unformed, it's unborn potencies. And those potencies cry for expression in the unshaped vast. Then he gives us a colon because he's not finished. Ineffable, in other words, indescribable, unutterable, beyond ignorance and death, beyond them, beyond ignorance and death, the images of its everlasting truth do what? They look out from a chamber of its self wrapped soul. As if, Sri Aurobindo's as if again, as if to its own inner witness gaze. What happens? The spirit holds up its mirrored self and works. So the spirit's looking at its own works. It's looking at the power and the passion of its timeless heart. It's looking at the figures of its formless ecstasy, and the grandeurs of its multitudinous might. You see what power we have in us. That's latent now, but will come out, express itself, and become itself. So please read because we have very little time. Oh, we'll have to read next time.
All
I'm
right.
sorry. I'm
No
sorry. I went too far.
Thank you so much. I'll see you on Tuesday.
Okay, look forward to it. You feeling better? Little
Yes.
less tired? Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.